Step 1. Rolling out the fondant. Take a big bit of fondant and roll it into a tight ball. Make sure there are no cracks in them or your petals are going to split. You're going to cut out 6 petals from this fondant, so make sure you have enough. If you're working on a tabletop at home, it's best to sprinkle just a little bit of corn flour so the fondant doesn't stick to the table. Place the ball on the table and flatten it a bit with the palm of your hand, and then begin to roll it out from the center, moving towards the edges. Roll it out thin, but not too thin that it begins to tear easily. Step 2. Make your flower petals. It is now time to cut out your petals with your cake ring cutter. We're going to make roses. Place the cutter with a thin edge on a corner of the rolled out fondant and press down. Shake it a bit to separate it from the rest of the fondant. Make 6 of these. Once done, place them into the plastic that you've got and let it rest for a minute or 2. Now take your thumb and press down on the edge of a petal and run it around the edge until you've pressed down a semicircle. This is the top of your rose petal. In case you want to make a few tulips to add some variety, roll out a couple of petals with white fondant like I've done here. Step 3. Shape your flowers. Take a petal out of the plastic bag and from one end of the flattened semicircle, begin to roll it nice and tight. Make sure it's as tight as you can go. Take a second petal, make sure it's at the same height as the first petal, and from where you ended rolling the first one, begin rolling the second one. Roll it right around. You can tip the top of the petal outwards very little. This will ensure that the next petal won't stick to the last one. Repeat these until all 6 petals are done. Then begin to pinch around the bottom of your rose to shape it and cut the excess off with your pair of scissors. For the tulips, take one white petal and twist it around a cone-shaped tool, like I've done here. You can also do this by twisting it around your thumb. For the little bits sticking out of the top of the flower, also known as the stigma, roll a bit of your fondant between your palm and the table and stick the thicker end inside your tulip. It's that easy. Step 4. Creating the leaves. Roll out some green fondant and with your leaf stencil, press down and move it around a bit like you did for the petals. This will cut out your leaves for you. To create a bit of a border for your cake, take a bit of fondant, whichever color you think best, and roll it between both your palms until you have a snake-like figure that is long enough to go right around the bottom of your cake. Place it around and cut off the extra bit. Then press down with a scallop or texturing tool. If you don't have this, you could even pinch the fondant according to how you like it. Step 5. Decorating. Now before you begin chucking everything on top of your cake, take a step back and imagine the finished product in your head first. Do you want a center arrangement? Or do you want a side arrangement? When you've decided what you want it to look like, take your brush, dip it in some water and lightly dab the spot on the cake you want to place your flower on. This will help it to stick. Do this with all the leaves, flowers and anything else you want to stick on there. Once you're done, you can tell everybody how easy it was.